Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Lone Star Alliance semifinal lacrosse. You are looking live at Crum Lacrosse and Sports Center on the campus of Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas, as Game On Sports Network brings you live exclusive coverage of today's Lone Star Alliance Division I semifinal matchup between the Texas Longhorns and the Missouri Tigers. Alongside Jim Dixon, this is Brian Shackelford welcoming you to this evening's contest here at Crum Lacrosse and Sports Center. And Jim, we have one more slot to fill for Championship Sunday tomorrow afternoon right here at SMU. And that will be determined here in this matchup as the 8-2 Texas Longhorns face off against the 10-3 Missouri Tigers. Missouri winning the Division I North regular season title with a 9-3 record, and the playoff win advances them here to the semifinal. Texas finishing second to TCU, who was eliminated in the first round last week by SMU. And now these two teams meet here on the pitch, and one of these teams punches a ticket to face off in the championship game tomorrow as they will take on the SMU Mustangs.
Yeah, both squads, Brian, come in with similar records, but they kind of arrived at these records a little differently. SMU came in early with UT. UT kind of got started out of the gates, scheduled their start a little later. They came in and they faced SMU early and took a loss, and then they took one recently at the latter part of the season. Missouri has they've kind of played out of the area, the northern part of the nation. A little bit more physical play. Their goalie Dylan Radke's outstanding. They have a lot of high-level production from some of these other guys that are producing for them, and we'll just see how it matches up. And we're underway.
Yeah, and the face-off here controlled. The loose ground ball is going to be scooped up by the Longhorns with control number 8, Christian Reno. And the Longhorns in their road burnt orange jerseys with white shorts. The Missouri Tigers in their home white jerseys with the black shorts this evening here at Crum Lacrosse and Sports Center. And folks, we want to thank you for joining us wherever you are across the state, around the country, or throughout the world, watching live on your tablet, smartphone, or computing device here on Game On Sports. And Texas will set up the offense. A shot from distance, save Radke, as that shot straight on from Hank Chapin. And Radke equal to his first shot here. He makes the save 45 seconds into the match here at SMU.
Yeah, Radke just had to cut the angle. He stepped into the ball, just kind of cut that angle off a little bit, and worked out very well as Missouri rolls on into the offensive zone through the backside right here, and see what they're setting up.
And a loose ball scooped up by number 6, Tristan Gote. As Gote still with the ball loose on the ground. Some effective defense there by the Longhorns. Still scooped back up in the air. And that is a over and back, which will give the Longhorns possession. And quickly they go on the offensive end. Reno looking to shoot. Instead, he'll pull it goal line extended on the near side and get his offensive unit on the field with a fresh shot clock. And 90 seconds gone in our final of 4 matches here on the day at Southern Methodist University. Working on the outside, that's number 36, Teddy Lisa. And Lisa with a shot on goal. Another amazing save for Dylan Radke, the 5'8", 160-pound senior out of Desmond Jesuit in St. Louis, and the entire St. Louis area here watching live on YouTube and Game On Sports, as well as the Lone Star Alliance website. Definitely rooting for their hometown goalkeeper this afternoon.
Yeah, and you're kind of seeing a juxtapose between these two squads. Really, Missouri obviously, having more Midwestern kids, kind of more that physical style of play, and then UT kind of has a mixed bag with a lot of kids out of state, some Texas talent.
Indeed, Ryan Glennon with his opening save of the match for the Longhorns, and the big net of Glennon all the way across the line and into the cross of Christian Reno, as Reno will hold to set up the offense. The shot clock moving under 60 with 55 and 12:20 remaining in our first quarter. No score here in semifinal number 2 in Division I of the Lone Star Alliance. That shot wide of goal. and brought back in from X by number 7, Sterling Hupp of the Longhorns. As the Longhorns look to run a set play here. Hupp shoots and scores. Hupp brings the ball in out of X, comes wrapping around the net, and beats Radke for the first goal of the match.
Yeah, Hupp got loose, got inside of his man down that lane and just turned the corner. Radke tried to ride along with him, and Hupp just really had to get a commitment from him, and then just either go low high and drop that in the back of the net. And there you have it. Longhorns are up 1-0. Let's see what the Tigers answer with.
And the face-off win by the Longhorns, as they'll start here on the near side with number 14, Gavin Gregoire. And they'll come back up top. The Horns leading 1-0 as we move under 12 minutes remaining in the first quarter of this second semifinal in Division I of the Lone Star Alliance. The winner of this matchup will face off against the SMU Mustangs, who just completed a convincing victory over Texas A&M to punch their ticket to tomorrow's Division I championship. That game right here live on Game On Sports tomorrow afternoon, the face-off at 3 p.m. They'll come all the way back up top on the rotation as they set up the counterclockwise rotation, looking in the middle, and that pass just off the mark for Tucker George.
Yeah, Parker Ailes is set up on the wing, came inside, came back outside. Tucker George. George is a good target, obviously to a dominant hand, and unable to handle that hot pass from Ailes. And
trying to corral that in the corner, Gavin Gregoire, but he's forced out of bounds. A nice play there by the long stick midi for the Tigers, number 45, TJ Soriano. A brief possession for Missouri, and now Texas back in control on the turnover with just under 11 minutes remaining in our first quarter. 2 men in X. Now coming goal line extended is number 9, Tucker George. A shot, low shot, trying to 5-hole Radke, but Dylan Radke, equal to the challenge, makes his 3rd save of the match.
Yeah, Radke stops a lot of shots just with his positioning. Again, with that great stop there, just had to go down. Had to go down on the ball once he had a commitment of the shot, but good positioning.
And a shot there by the Tigers, a save for Ryan Glennon, and Glennon now down in pain just outside the crease, grabbing the ribs on the left side as that shot by number 44, Joe Ripson, ricocheted off his net and caught him in the ribs, just below the chest protector. The shot here by the Longhorns wide of goal as Gavin Gregoire will bring the ball back into play. He'll be marked here on the near side as the shot clock down to 75 and 10 minutes to play in the first.
Yeah, Gregory does a great job back through the backside. Great at finding lanes. These guys are opening up for him, and see how that plays out.
And there's a low shot and a goal for the Longhorns with the score, number 19, Max Eigen. And Eigen trying to go low to high, and that ball never getting more than about 2.5 feet off the turf, just to the right side of Radke for the Longhorns' second goal.
Yeah, Eigen came in, had the ball on his stick, basically used his momentum to carry him through his shot, just went in low, and I mean, no worms were harmed in the filming of this game.
And now 2-0 the lead for Texas. Here in the first quarter, 9:45 to play. Another face-off controlled by the Fogo specialist, Christian DeAngelis, as the senior rounding out his final season of Longhorn lacrosse here with 3 face-off wins in the opening quarter. Now that loose ball scooped up by the Tigers, number 32, Christian Simmons. As Simmons will put the Tigers back on the job with just under 9.5 to play in the first quarter.
Tigers kind of taking their time pushing the ball up. Cleared to the midfield.
And now the Tigers on the job. They cross the timeline just barely before getting the penalty. The shot clock down to 55 as they look to center. And the bounce pass the bounce shot a little too hard for number 44, Joe Ripson. It bounces over the goal. But Missouri will bring the ball back into play for Mex with 9 minutes remaining in the first.
They've been putting shots on Glennon. Really nothing on the pipes though. He's very active back there, and they're having to work around him. But again, a lot of positioning saves where he's just testing.
And now diving in and a shot, a goal for Missouri. The Tigers on the board with 8:43 to play in the first period. And we'll see who that goal belongs to, as slipping to the turf and taking the shot just to the left side. That's number 20 for the Tigers with the opening goal, Luke Obel.
Yeah, Glennon was committed low. Just went over him, kind of one of those look away fakes that they give. They look, you can look a goalie down and he'll follow your eyes sometimes, and that paid benefits for him.
And now Missouri cutting the lead in half here. A 2-1 advantage for the Longhorns, and the Longhorns win the faceoff, go back on the job. But that errant pass out of bounds by number 60 for the Longhorns will give Missouri possession once again, and a fresh 80 on the shot clock.
Yeah, Missouri really not having a lot of luck at the faceoff X. They're really kind of benefiting from a lot of the mistakes that UT's given them as far as possession.
And holding the ball up top, number 17, Brendan Brewster, waiting for the Tiger offensive unit to gel here with 60 on the shot clock. He'll move ahead, goal line extended on the near side. Now they'll run the counterclockwise rotation in X. Back to number 10, Bryce Sullivan. Sullivan trying to cut inside. And there's an errant pass intended for Joe Ripson that goes out of bounds. A unforced error, turnover to the Longhorns.
Yeah, I mean, possessions are pretty valuable, and you really can't afford to get down in the offensive zone, get set up, and then have an errant turnover.
And now the Longhorns try to get the ball across the timeline. 65 on the shot clock as their offensive unit goes back to work with a 1-goal lead. Coming near side, number 41 for the Longhorns, Jack Eigen, one of the goal scorers so far, or pardon me, it's Max Eigen, his brother, who's on the score sheet for the Longhorns, as Eigen looks to set up the Longhorn offense. Another low shot, and that's Max Eigen, his brother, and that shot wide of the net, and the only player back there, the long stick midi for the Tigers, number 2, Matthew Holmes.
Yeah, Eigen was wide off that, just didn't get his hips through the shot. Although, Radke was set up great to shut him down on the shot, but he just really wasn't able to get his hips through that thing.
And charging down the far sideline, the Tigers, number 10, Bryce Sullivan. He'll pull up goal line extended on the far side with 6:45 remaining in the first quarter. He'll try to charge into X, working with Max Ripson on the near side. Joe Ripson. And Ripson going back up top as the Tigers will reset with 40 on the shot clock. The Longhorns extending the defense out, trying to put a ride up top on Missouri, as number 17, Brendan Brewster, challenged on the far side, marked there by Max Eigen. Now they'll try the middle with number 49, Jeremiah Schumacher. And Schumacher covered nicely there by number 52 for the Longhorns. Schumacher slips and falls. Loose ground ball scooped up by Texas. Another unforced error for the Longhorns. They go back on the job, 6 minutes to play in quarter number 1.
Well, and they're benefactors of that aggressive defense. They're pushing Missouri back out to the perimeter, forcing long shots. And you get a turnover out there, you're pretty much one-on-one, and you know where the ball is, and the aforementioned ball handler doesn't often know where it is.
And a shot on goal there, scooped up. The loose ball wide of the net, picked up by number 34, Seaver Sasso. As the Longhorns stay on the job, they're down to 45 on the shot clock as they look to extend this 1-goal lead. Another loose ground ball forced by Missouri. And picked up, almost picked up, now secured by number 9, Tucker George. And George gives the Longhorns new life with 28 on the shot clock. George, goal line extended on the far side. He'll move it back in the middle. And that shot on goal scooped up by Dylan Radke.
Yeah, Parker Ailes had a couple of skips in on that shot, and no Missouri Tiger really pressed him with a body check, and unfortunately he got that thing off, just ripped it a little short.
The ball out of bounds, last touched by the Tigers. And Texas will bring the ball back into play with a fresh 80 on the shot clock as the game clock moves under 5 minutes remaining here in the first quarter of this LSA Division I semifinal. The Longhorns work the ball into X with number 7, Sterling Hupp. And he'll come all the way back up top as the Longhorns set up the counterclockwise rotation. A loose mark up top by number 33, Tyler Pasco. As Pasco will follow Parker Ailes all the way back into X. Ailes now trying to wrap around. Up front, shot! Deflected just wide by Radke. And that was a great look there for Hank Chapin. But Radke equal to the task. He knocks it wide with the big net.
No, Radke does, again, great positioning. Really forces the shots to be clean. And if you're a little off, he's going to take advantage of you.
And the ball forced out of the cross of number 9, Tucker George, but he'll go back to retrieve it. As the Longhorns have 30 left on the shot clock and less than 4 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Still a 2-1 lead for Texas in this Division I semifinal. Sterling Hupp double teamed, goal line extended far side. A shot saved right into the mid of Radke, or the big net there of Radke. And you're right, Jim, the positioning by Dylan Radke is making all the difference here in this first period.
Yeah, I mean, he's setting it up. He's cutting your angles. He's narrowing the goal face for you. And you really got to be on point and on target.
And now the Longhorns intercept another pass and go back to work, as they have possession once again. A very brief possession for Missouri. And the transition defense for the Longhorns doing what it's supposed to, interrupting those Tiger passes and getting the ball back into the offensive zone.
Yeah, Missouri's more than happy to press the ball out on the perimeter. You know, they're really not giving up much ground, really kind of playing, not really a zone, but really kind of closing up the inside lanes, but they're going to pressure the ball out on the perimeter.
Working out of X, that's number 8, Christian Reno, as the shot clock moves under 40, loose ball. Good defensive work there by number 15, Chase McQuarrie of the Tigers. And racing down the near side, that's James Long for the Tigers. Missouri back on the job with 2.5 to play in the first.
Yeah, McQuarrie jumped the ball handler, basically got him with a ding-a-ling on the backside, and stripped the ball, and that has resulted in this entire offense. And when your defense supports your offense, you got good stuff going.
And the shot by Tristan Gote saved by Ryan Glennon over the top of the net. Now another shot and a goal, but a penalty flag comes in. We'll see if the goal will be allowed or not. And it was a penalty against Texas, so credit Bryce Sullivan with the goal to tie the match. And the penalty waved off as Missouri scored on the continuation.
Yeah, and you know, they came across. There's a little head contact on the check, and you know, the best thing could have happened was not have it waved off and be manned up. But they'll take the goal anytime you get it.
And the score now with just over 2 minutes remaining in the first. Texas 2, Missouri 2, and a quick answer for the Longhorns. Right off the faceoff, the Fogo specialist for Texas, number 16, Christian DeAngelis, puts the Horns back in front by 1.
Yeah, DeAngelis is handy off the faceoff. Wins a lot of ground balls, but he really is aggressive, pushing that ball upfield and getting the right shot, getting the right timing down.
And now the Longhorns back to a 1-goal lead with 1:59 remaining in our opening quarter here at Crum Lacrosse and Sports Center. 3-2 the advantage for Texas. They win another face-off as DeAngelis does his job once again for the Longhorns. And Texas back on the job. They have 70 on the shot clock and 1:45 to play in the first. Up top, that's number 41 handling the ball, Jack Eigen, as they'll get the right offensive team on the field, joined up top by Max Eigen. As the brothers go to work here with 55 on the shot clock for Texas. Working up top now, number 36 for the Longhorns, Teddy Lisa. Lisa thinks about a shot. He'll go goal line extended, and intercepting that pass, the goalkeeper Dylan Radke. Lisa was looking for Gavin Gregoire on the far side goal line extended, but Radke steps in to cut that pass off for Missouri.
Yeah, I'll say this about Missouri's defense. McQuarrie is a guy that really is kind of down here mixing things up and really applying pressure on the ball, particularly on this inside wing.
And now with Missouri in possession, 58 seconds remain on the clock in the first quarter, and the Tigers will spend their first timeout of this first half. And Jim, this has been very explosive here in the opening 14 minutes, back and forth, a lot of transition game, and that transition game seems to favor the Longhorns as they enjoy a one-goal lead here with just under a minute to play in our opening quarter.
Yeah, I mean the transition game falls fairly on the UT sideline simply because they're just a lot more athletic, they're a lot faster, but they are running into to some big bodies down on that defensive end, and Missouri is basically keeping them kind of in check, throwing bodies at it.
Yeah, and the two biggest bodies that have helped out the Tigers so far in this first quarter, the long stick midfielder number 15, Chase McQuarrie, a 6'5" freshman out of Washington, Illinois, and then of course the stunning goalkeeping work of Dylan Radke. Without Dylan Radke in goal, this could easily be a 6-2, 7-2 game here with a minute to play in quarter number one.
Oh yeah, it could be ugly. He's talented. The kid stops a lot of stuff and make sure that everything's in check as far as how shots are coming in and what gets snuck in behind the net.
And we're ready to resume play here. 58 ticks on the clock in quarter number one here at Crum Lacrosse and Sports Center, as Game On Sports brings you live exclusive coverage of today's Division I semifinal in the Lone Star Alliance. That timeout taken by Missouri, and they go back to work now as the clock running with 55 to play in the first quarter. The shot clock not a factor. 57 on the shot clock with 49 remaining on the game clock here in quarter number one. Sullivan with a goal already, working goal line extended on the far side. A wraparound there, the ball loose in the crease. And another ground ball. Aggressive contact here by Missouri in the offensive end, as getting the ball back for the Tigers, Jeremiah Schumacher. And number 49 takes the ball back up top to Bryce Sullivan. They'll reset with 25 ticks remaining in the first.
Yeah, Sullivan lost a handle on it on that wing, and really no pressure from the UT defense.
And Schumacher now on the far side. He'll look in the middle for Ripson. And a nice pass there from Jeremiah Schumacher to Joe Ripson. And number 44 for the Tigers will even up the score with 10 seconds remaining here in our first period. And nice work for Ripson to get inside, and an even better pass from Schumacher leads to the goal.
Yeah, Schumacher led it perfectly. Ripson just had to really just get it settled and then turn, and just drove it in the backside of the net.
And folks, your score with 10 ticks remaining in our first quarter. It's now Texas Longhorns 3, Missouri Tigers 3, in our second of two Division I semifinals. The face-off at the center circle controlled by the Longhorns. DeAngelis racing downfield, looking for a shot. He passes off to Christian Reno. Reno tripped, and the ball scooped up as the horn sounds, ending our first quarter of play. And ladies and gentlemen, the first 15 minutes are in the books here from Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas, as Game On Sports Network brings you live exclusive coverage of this Lone Star Alliance Division I semifinal. And folks, your score as we head to the second period here at Crum Lacrosse and Sports Center. It's Texas Longhorns 3, Missouri Tigers 3. And Jim, some quick impressions here in the first 15 minutes.
I mean, Missouri's played on their heels, unfortunately, most face-offs, but they've had their opportunities and want to start. If they start winning from the face-off X, we may have a tide turn here really quick. UT has held their own. They have a game plan. They're executing it. They pretty much are sticking with what we've seen with them all season long. I think I've been on four broadcasts with them this season, and they're solid. They have a lot of tools, and they use a lot of team rolls into the offensive zone.
And folks, we'll step aside for a brief commercial break. Longhorns 3, Tigers 3. We'll be back with more exciting Lone Star Alliance lacrosse action here on Game On Sports Network.
Entrepreneurs banking entrepreneurs since 1912.
And folks, we welcome you back here to Crum Lacrosse and Sports Center on the campus of SMU here in Dallas, Texas, alongside Jim Dixon. This is Brian Shackelford bringing you live exclusive coverage of our second of two semifinals here in Division I of the Lone Star Alliance. A 3-3 tie between the Texas Longhorns and the Missouri Tigers as we open the second period, and awaiting the winner of this match to play tomorrow afternoon in the Division I championship game is the SMU Mustangs. And so far, Jim, this matchup between Texas and Missouri has been everything that we had expected in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, this thing's quite the physical matchup. A lot of skilled play. I like the fast pace, and this is everything we thought it'd be.
And the goal, the opening goal of quarter number 2, belongs to the man who scored the first goal of the match. That's number 7, Sterling Hupp for the Longhorns, and he'll put Texas back out in front 4-3. Or pardon me, was that Max Eigen with that goal?
No, that's Christian Reno.
Oh, pardon me. We'll get number 8 here on the score sheet, as that's now the 4th different goal scorer for the Longhorns, with 4 goals here in the match. Yeah, and a 1-goal lead.
Yeah, Reno just flashed out from the wing, received the pass, and just basically had to turn and unload the thing.
And a loose ground ball kicked away by Missouri. Now blocked by the Longhorns and controlled by DeAngelis. He'll go back to Ryan Glennon, the goalkeeper, and the Longhorns work to get the ball across the timeline. So not exactly the way DeAngelis wanted to win the faceoff, but the end result is the same. The Longhorns control with 13:40 to play in the half.
Win's a win.
As I once heard a famous sport athlete say, there is just the W and the L, there is no U column. So if it's an ugly win, it still goes down as a W. 4-3, the Longhorns lead here as they set up shop with 50 seconds on the shot clock. They work back in X to Sterling Hupp. He'll come back up top. Looking for a shot. Reno wants his second goal of the match. Instead, he'll pull back. And it looks like Missouri has tightened down the defense just a little bit here in quarter number 2.
Yeah, they are pressuring the Longhorns. They're staying on their hands. Really not a shot to get off.
And another goal for the Longhorns as they extend the lead.
Yeah, Christian Reno just popped another one in, basically from the same spot, just another 6 or 7 yards out. Again, they're opening up where they're pulling pressure. Missouri's pulling pressure in closer to the cage, and they're just opening up on the outside and finding those lanes.
And Reno with the last 2 goals in the match, both for the Longhorns, and the Longhorns now with the first 2-goal lead of this game. They lead 5-3 with 2 minutes gone here in our second quarter. And they'll call a procedure violation on Missouri. The Longhorns control the faceoff once again. They'll go straight down the middle, a shot. Oh no, that's a pass. Reno looking for the hat trick, denied by Radke. And Radke with some great reflexes there to stop Christian Reno.
Yeah, and it's a good stop. It's one of the few times we've seen him stop and really not get the thing settled in his stick, where basically is either a 50-50 ball or a possession extended.
And now Missouri will set up shop on the north end of the field. The Missouri Tigers moving right to left. They'll shoot to the offensive goal on your left as you watch here on Game On Sports. That is the north goal here at Crum Lacrosse and Sports Center. And a high shot there taken by number 17, Brendan Brewster, pulled down by Ryan Glennon. And it looked like he may have had something wrong with his side earlier, Jim, but Glennon now showing no ill effects here with 12 minutes to play before halftime.
Oh, these guys are resilient. They fight it off. The offside.
And now multiple penalty flags, as at first there was a over and back violation on the Longhorns as Glennon and one of the offensive players, number 20, Patrick Traynor, couldn't work out the switch, and they had too many men on the offensive side. And then 10 seconds later, we have multiple penalties come in. A technical foul called, and it looks like Christian Reno will go to the penalty box for Texas. A man-up opportunity for Missouri with 12:03 remaining in the first half here at SMU.
Yeah, I mean, you know, for the most part, one of the first errors that UT's really had to pay for this first half.
And they'll start the rotation up top. It's number 17, Brendan Brewster, working with Ben Hensel, wearing number 8 this afternoon for the Tigers. A shot wide of goal, brought back into the play on the near side here, goal line extended. As one of the goal scorers this afternoon for Missouri, Bryce Sullivan, will bring the ball back into play. Working here on the near side, a low shot. Nice save right there by the new goaltender for Texas, now in the game-tending goal. That's number 22, Jacob Rollins, the 5'11", 170-pound sophomore out of Fort Bend Travis High School in the Houston area, as perhaps the possible rib injury to Ryan Glennon a little too much. Oh no, it was Glennon who got the penalty.
Right.
And now Glennon back in goal for the Longhorns. And I know that to use a hockey analogy, hockey players are always excited when the goalie draws a penalty. I'm not sure if it's the same here in lacrosse. But Glennon now back in the pipes for the Longhorns with 11 minutes remaining before halftime.
I just caused a little confusion.
5-3 the advantage for Texas as they work on the offensive end. 60 on the shot clock for the Longhorns. On the far side, number 4, Parker Ailes, being marked by number 8, Ben Hensel. They'll come back near side. Looking for somewhere to pass the ball, number 34, Seaver Sasso. Ailes fakes a shot. He'll try to get inside the double team. Tries to go behind the back looking for Christian Reno. The pass just off the mark and right into the big net of Dylan Radke, the Tiger goalkeeper.
Well, he had 2 Longhorns there on that one side. He was hoping to get lucky. He's running out of his string there and had to switch hands. And that's probably the best result he could have hoped for.
And now Radke with the long pass downfield, a loose ground ball forced by the Longhorns. Give credit there to Bergen Goldsmith, the 5'11", 175-pound defender for Texas, as he knocks the ball out of the cross of the Tiger player. And now the Longhorns go back on the job. 10 minutes to play before halftime, and they still have a 2-goal lead, 5-3.
Yeah, you know, the physical play is really starting to kind of wear down as far as what Missouri's able to mount. You know, just facing the speed of UT.
And working goal line extended on the far side. Seaver Sasso comes back up top. Now it's number 9, Tucker George, coming on the near side. Shot, save Radke. And not a clean save. He gets it off the edge of his big net. And the Longhorns go back up top. A fresh shot clock and a bounce shot and a goal. And Seaver Sasso has been looking for a way to get on the board. A couple of shots have gone wide, but that one hits home for the Longhorns, and they now establish a 3-goal advantage.
No, Sasso out on that wing had a nice lane to go into. Just went underneath Radke and Radke was just a little late on the stop, and with that thing coming in there on the bouncer, that's a little tough to catch up to.
And now the Longhorns lead 6-3 with 9:22 remaining in our second quarter here in this Division I semifinal. Another clean face-off win for Christian DeAngelis in Texas. He tries to pass, and the ball deflected, and now picked up by number 14, Gavin Gregory. And Coach Hartzell wants to stop things and talk it over. A timeout taken by the Longhorns with 9:12 remaining here in quarter number 2. It's their first timeout. Each team with 1 timeout remaining here in this first half. And Jim, the offense here in the first 5 minutes of quarter number 2 has been back and forth, fast and furious between both of these teams.
Yeah, I mean, this possession shows how important the offense is right now, and with Coach Hartzell wanting to invest in a timeout to retain possession. The ball kind of bouncing around. He also has the added advantage of setting up out on the perimeter and running whatever he wants with the personnel that he wants. He really wants to start getting a separation, start making a run against Missouri, and see what he can do here with whatever little time's left in the first half.
No, and like you had said, an investiture here of a timeout with 9:12 to play. I think this is a perfect opportunity he's looking at with the Longhorns just now establishing the first 3-goal lead of the game, he sees the potential here to extend that to a 4-goal advantage and really start to turn the screws on this Missouri Tiger squad.
Yeah, I mean, and Missouri's a good squad they've shown here in the first period, the first half. You know, the physical play is now not quite as prevalent as what we've seen, you know, in the first period. But the physical play is kind of fallen off a little bit. But you got to wonder if they think they're wearing them down.
Well, it was 3-3 as we ended quarter number 1, and all 3 goals here in quarter number 2, property of the Texas Longhorns, as Missouri yet to get on the sheet as we're almost 6 minutes into this second quarter. So perhaps the Longhorns' depth and speed starting to affect the Tigers just a little bit with 9:12 remaining before halftime.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, physical play comes and goes, and you know, your goaltender, he's not going cold on you, but he's certainly having to face a lot of shots with some pepper on it.
And now the ball brought back into play by the Longhorns as number 41, Jack Egan starts play. And Egan marked up top by the long stick midi Marty Sheehan. Egan shoots over the top of the goal out of bounds. And right there to secure possession, Gavin Gregory for Texas. As the clock moves under 9 minutes remaining, and the Longhorns go back to work with 57 on the shot clock. Gregory wraps around, save Radke. And Dylan Radke in perfect position there. He expected Gregory to go near side, right inside the post. And Radke able to block that off and give Missouri possession.
Yeah, he kind of stopped that in his grill and it settled at his feet. Nobody really around to contest it, so Missouri got to press up, but eventually over midfield line resulted in a turnover.
And now Texas back on the job, and that's been where Texas has really had the advantage in this game, Jim, is disrupting the Missouri Tigers in transition and causing these turnovers to go back on offense.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, it's a great place for you know, midseason or midfield turnovers are a great place because you then have to reset and you have the advantage and benefit of knowing what you're doing.
And Max Egan with a shot there saved by Radke. And once again, Radke unable to make the clean save. It goes off the side of the big net. But Missouri does control here with 7:50 remaining in the second quarter. And now this is the first sustained offensive possession in the second quarter for Missouri as they'll look to set up the offense here. 60 on the shot clock, 7:40 remaining in the half.
Yeah,
and this is a spot here where Missouri desperately needs a goal.
Yeah, Goldsmith's pressuring the Missouri right on the far side, and again, UT is out front with speed. They're pressuring the ball one-on-one.
And a shot there, the turnaround wrister by Kyle Kurzik. And Ryan Glennon equal to the task. He makes the save and quickly downfield on the fast break. Charging forward, Patrick Traynor. Traynor almost knocked off his feet by Kyle Kurzik of the Tigers. But Traynor able to hold his feet and with 63 on the shot clock. The Longhorn offense back on the field. They'll work here on the near side goal line extended with Sterling Hupp. And Patrick Ailes now go all the way across over to Christian Reno. Reno, the only player in the game with multiple goals. He has 2 on the afternoon. As the Longhorns try to go up by 4. A shot just off the top of the post. And a goal that they're going to meet and talk about this. It looked like a goal from here. And it is the second tally of the game for number 34, Seaver Sasso. And a 7-3 advantage for the Longhorns.
Yeah, it went up top corner, bounced back out. Looked like it settled in behind Radke in the crease. And I thought very good likelihood it would have been kicked in. But yeah, that thing was just right inside. Didn't go into the net, but was inside the pipes.
Yeah, it bounced up, a hard bounce off the turf and just inside the top of the crossbar, and that counts. So with 6:42 remaining in the first half, it's Texas Longhorns 7, Missouri Tigers 3. The fight at midfield, and DeAngelis will kick the ball back to number 33, Wes Gilbert. And Gilbert will control for the Longhorns. They go back on the offensive end, and with DeAngelis dominating in the faceoff circle here in the first half, it really taxes the Tiger defense as they have to constantly go back to work on the defensive side.
Sure, you know you're having to go where you don't know where they are,
And there is the result as a goal for number 14, Gavin Gregory. And the Longhorns score in under 20 seconds. And they're now up by 5. It's 8-3 Longhorns.
Yeah, Missouri really has to bow their back and start making themselves accountable with the X, and at least try to disrupt what they're doing, what UT's doing on momentum. But they need to bow their backs and start pulling in some wins off the face-off X.
And DeAngelis will go back to work for the Longhorns in the center circle. 6:15 remaining in the first half. Longhorns 8, Tigers 3 as we play in the second Division I semifinal. That shot from distance by the Longhorns. No one back in X. And Radke with the big net able to secure possession for the Tigers as the clock moves under 6 minutes remaining before halftime.
Yeah, you really need to be cognizant of what's going on your attack. When you're pulling the ball down.
And a turnover to the Longhorns. They'll try to push it quickly, looking for Hupp on the near side. And just enough action there from McCreary to block the shot by Rupp. Or Hupp, rather, as it goes out of bounds. And Missouri will have possession once again.
Yeah, McCreary's very physical, very disruptive. And good timing because that was a flat runaway down in on the crease for UT.
And now another unforced error here in the midfield by Missouri. Gives the ball quickly back to Texas with 5:38 remaining in the first half. The Longhorns a low shot there, taken by number 60, and that's scooped up by Dylan Radke as Radke saw that one coming all the way.
Yeah, and Radke was pressured a little bit back in through the crease with Gavin Gregory kind of sneaking around back in there on the backside, waiting for him to commit on where he was going to go and go in and disrupt his bottom hand and see if they can force a quick turnover and a shot.
And a turnover first on the far sideline as Missouri will lose the ball out of bounds. And now Texas back in control offensively with just over 5 minutes to play as the length and strength of Ellis Tucci, the long stick midi for the Longhorns, gives them possession. And Sterling Hupp and the Longhorns go to work with 4:50 remaining in the half. It looks like they may slow things down here a little bit as Parker Ailes will control up top. They get Sasso back on the field with Ailes. 45 on the shot clock for Texas. Goal line extended. Sasso being marked there by number 2, Matthew Holmes. And a loose ball scooped up there by Tucker George.
Well, and UT seems to be handling the pressure on the perimeter with the ball handler, and they're not really giving much ground right now.
Gregory to Hupp, and Radke equal to the task. He saw that give and go coming. And you have to admire the positioning. We talked about it before in the open and with the Missouri staff here prior to the game about how Radke always seems to put himself in the right position with the proper footwork. And that's the only thing that kept this from becoming a 6-goal advantage for the Longhorns.
Yeah, I mean he's not a big tender. He's a small statured guy, but he's very quick and athletic. But my gosh, he plays big.
And being in the right spot does help quite a bit. Now a fresh shot clock for the Longhorns. 65 remaining on the shot clock as Gregory bounces that off the post and earns a new 80 seconds for the Longhorns. And diving in, another goal for Texas. That's the first tally of the match for Tucker George. 3:45 remains in the first half, and the advantage now Longhorns 9, Tigers 3.
Yeah, Tucker George, he got loose, came in on that wing on the far side, or on this near side, and basically had about a 9x12 envelope window to put it in, and he just dropped it right in where he needed to on the go.
And Tucker George now on the score sheet for the Longhorns, a 6-goal advantage. All 6 goals in this second period belonging to Texas as they've opened up a sizable lead here with 3:40 remaining in the first half. They'll come to the near side with Adam Weimer. And Weimer will offload. Coming across, Ellis Tucci will bring it across the timeline. He'll stay on the offensive end. And a whistle will stop play as it looks like a turnover to Missouri with 3:25 remaining before halftime.
Yeah, I mean, you got to wonder if Missouri's physical play is really starting to fall apart on them. They're really having to chase and pursue a lot more than what they had to do in the first period. And I think that the Longhorns' speed is really kind of getting to them, and they got to answer for that.
And now back on the job are the Tigers as the clock moves under 3 minutes to play in the first half. As working on the far side, Jeremiah Schumacher goes goal line extended, trying to dive in for a shot. That's number 6, Tristan Gotti. And Gotti with the shot, it goes out of bounds, and Missouri will bring the ball back into play. They have 39 on the shot clock as they go back up top to Schumacher. A loose ground ball. Nice defensive work there by number 11, Luke Masiak. But able to get the ball back, that's number 18, Nick Sutherland. And a shot, a hard bounce shot, just wide of goal.
Yeah, Masiak went down as they were coming back out, and Missouri just really unable to take advantage of the free man running because that lane closed up so fast.
Now down to 15 on the shot clock are the Tigers. Brewster on the near side wearing number 17. Looking for a shot, 6 on the shot clock as he tries to work around Masiak. Masiak doing work, and Glennon with the deflection. And the ball out of bounds. They will be Longhorn possession, much to the chagrin of the Missouri Tiger crowd, as you can hear over here to my right. They felt that should have been Tiger ball.
Well, I mean, because it would have just flat resulted in a fresh set of numbers and put them on the offensive zone.
And now 100 seconds to play before halftime. A shot. Save Ryan Glennon. As point blank, that was number 8, Ben Hensel. Or pardon me, make that 6. Tristan Gotti with the shot. And now with 1:32 to play, we've got a penalty flag on the field. And it looks like this could be the Longhorns going to the penalty box and Missouri going on the job, or it could be the other. It's the other way around here.
I think they're calling him on a cross check.
And it appears you are right, Jim. That's going to be number 34, Johnny Adel, headed to the sin bin for Missouri, and this will be the first man-up advantage. Or pardon me, no, it's number 7 instead, Luke Fiala, that will be in the penalty box. And the Longhorns have their first man-up advantage with 1:32, 92 seconds remaining in the half, and a fresh 80 on the shot clock. And the Longhorns look to extend this 6-goal lead. They come on the counterclockwise rotation all the way back into X to Christian Reno. Reno goes back up top, bounce shot and a goal. And that only took 14 seconds for Teddy Lisa to put his first tally on the board. It's now Texas Longhorns 10, Missouri Tigers 3, with 1:18 remaining in the half.
Yeah, Reno had him set up on the backside with the look away and just went into Lisa, and he was right where he needed to be and just dropped the hammer on it.
And the penalty there, the cross check, very costly for the Tigers, as it's now a full 7-goal advantage for the Longhorns in the waning stages of this second quarter. The face-off win for number 3, Marty Sheehan and the Tigers. And now Bryce Sullivan takes the ball into X as we approach a minute remaining in the first half here in this Division I semifinal. Sullivan being marked by Adam Weimer. The shot blocked away, moved off to the side by Ryan Glennon. And now 55 on the shot clock, but only 45 remaining in the half. And the shot clock no longer a factor for the Tigers as they look to get at least one more tally on the board here before halftime. And a penalty flag comes in as that shot is saved by Ryan Glennon. But the hard offensive work there by Joe Ripson will earn Missouri a man-up advantage with 36 ticks remaining in our second quarter.
Yeah, and you're seeing the physical play kind of slide to the UT side of the ledger to this latter part of the second period, and UT's obviously winning the physical battle, particularly on the defensive zone, really pressing Missouri.
And now the third man-up advantage of this first half for the Missouri Tigers as they go back to work with 33 seconds to play in the half. And they trail by 7 goals late here in the second period. Bryce Sullivan offloading to Schumacher, back to Sullivan looking for a shot. He's got a one-on-one opportunity, goes just wide of the goal. And Bryce Sullivan's going to wish he had that shot back. But Missouri still has possession with 18 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it was a handy fake and dodge. He rolled in and just kind of choked it off. Didn't really get his hips all the way through and shot wide.
Now working back up top. A shot from distance by Tristan Gotti. And that wide of the net with 7 seconds remaining. And now Missouri has enough time for one more shot here in the first half of play. Sullivan near side. Looks in the middle for Gotti. Gotti a low shot. And it goes wide of the goal. And Ryan Glennon celebrates as the horn sounds, bringing us to halftime. Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the end of the first half of play here at the Crum Lacrosse and Sports Field on the campus of SMU here in Dallas, Texas, as Game On Sports brings you live exclusive coverage of the 2023 Lone Star Alliance Championships. And folks, your scores, we head to the halftime break in our second Division I semifinal. It's Texas Longhorns 10, Missouri Tigers 3. And what was an even game after 15 minutes, Jim Dixon, was all Longhorns in the second quarter.
Yeah, and I think what you saw was the shift of the physical play really going to UT's side of the ledger, and the Longhorns just really kind of took charge from there. They played a little bit more physical and forced the hand of Missouri to play catch up, and in the latter part or in the middle of the latter part of the second period really kind of fell short.
And the Longhorns on the board with 10 goals here in the first half from 8 different goal scorers. So they have spread the offensive effort around with 8 different gentlemen on the board here for the Longhorns. 2 goals from Christian Reno and 2 goals from Sawyer Sasso, the leading scorers for either team, as the Longhorns enjoy a 7-goal advantage here at halftime. And folks, we're going to step aside and take a halftime break along with the players. We'll be back with the second half of this exciting Division I semifinal in the Lone Star Alliance. Once again, your halftime score, Texas Longhorns 10, Missouri Tigers 3. We'll see you back here for the second half on Game On Sports Network.
You've never been one to fear the unknown. That's because you've seen seasons like this come and go, just like many of your competitors. You know your outcome, stay focused, and take calculated risks, seizing opportunities when others freeze. The truth is, winter business cycles separate the good from the great, and winter is your season. Ours too. That's why for over a century, we've been honored to serve you. Vista Bank, entrepreneurs banking entrepreneurs since 1912.
Sewell is definitely a part of my family. Everyone, just has this great smile that we are happy to see you. We're so glad you're here. They really care about people, and that's not something you find at every dealership. I love to leave a dealership feeling peaceful, and I've never experienced that until Sewell. I drive a Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at Sewell Buick GMC.
I actually look forward to car shopping with Sewell because I know that the whole process is going to be seamless, comfortable, and we're going to be taken care of. Buying a car is a big life event. I just felt very relaxed through the whole process. They put us at ease. There wasn't any pressure. It really felt like we were sitting at home trying to buy a car, especially with the cookies. I drive a Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at Sewell Cadillac.
was right at 270. But my nephews went to
So I got further clarification of what was happening. This camera right here. And so if you could take like, that is what they were saying. Because what it does is screws up with the time and it puts it down like 9 seconds. So
How do you make it into a secret class? We'll be back. I didn't know you were saying that. Because if SMU would have gotten in, they would have beat TCU in overtime.
I appreciate you.
Man, they were tied for what? Fourth place?
This or that, yeah.
How did they get in?
No worries. Appreciate you guys.
And it's different than how they handled it in 2013 when they made a team that got disqualified to play 2 games in one day. And that guy's still in the mission. Because the team that got in fourth in this.
Do it.
And ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you back here to Crum Lacrosse and Sports Center on the campus of Southern Methodist University alongside Jim Dixon. This is Brian Shackelford bringing you live exclusive coverage of this Lone Star Alliance Division I semifinal here on Game On Sports Network. And Jim, as we get ready for quarter number 3, the Missouri Tigers have a lot of work to do to get ready for this second half, because what was a very even match through quarter number 1 turned into complete dominance by the Texas Longhorns in quarter number 2, outscoring Missouri 7-0 in the process to establish the 10-3 lead they now enjoy as we begin the second half.
Well, and I think what you've done is you created the worst thing that you want, which is a loose UT squad. And these guys are they're rolling out here, and they're confident And I don't think that's going to bode well for you. You have to overcome the physical matchups. You need to get the ball in check. You need to start winning from the face-off X and come down and control your offense the way you know how to control it. Because they have some shooters and they have some physical play on both offensive and defensive side. The problem being is they're playing catch-up all the time because they're not getting the ball on the face-off and they're not able to come down and set up their offense the way they want to.
No, exactly. Christian DeAngelis, 15 of 18 on face-offs in the first half. And now the Fogo specialist for the Longhorns back in there with Marty Sheehan to begin the third quarter. And this one a face-off win for Sheehan, as Missouri will start the third quarter on offense. And right off the crossbar, Bryce Sullivan from point-blank range. And that was just an unlucky shot for Sullivan. Otherwise, this is a 10-4 game, 10 seconds into the third quarter.
Yeah, he just kind of jumped a little bit. I think he kind of surprised himself being that open.
Yeah, that's the one thing that you hate is when you're on offense like that and you're like, wait a minute, nobody's in front of me. What do I do? Because you're used to putting a fake on somebody and putting a nice shot on goal. But that happens so quickly, it may have caught Sullivan off guard. Even still, to bounce it off the crossbar, pretty close to the mark for the Tigers here to open the third period.
Yeah.
And definitely not what you want to see if you're Coach Kyle Hartzell on the Longhorn sideline.
No, I mean you gotta, you're sitting there going, okay, we just had a good first half, and then we give up a face-off loss, and that's unfortunate.
Jack Egan there with the close shot, knocked away as Radke out of goal, taking his place. Marty Sheehan just trying to block the goal until Radke could get himself back in the cage. 75 on the fresh shot clock for the Longhorns, and that shot wide of goal. As Teddy Lisa just a little too much curve on that shot.
Yeah, Lisa, he just never really got he never got his foot planted on that front to unload and just went wide.
And now Missouri in possession with 13:35 to play in quarter number 3 here at SMU. The loose ground ball dribbling into the corner. And a whistle. And the whistle going against the Longhorns, and quickly Bryce Sullivan and the Tigers put the ball back in play.
But you gotta like seeing the Longhorns down on the defensive zone, just pressuring the ball, playing very physical.
And Missouri takes the ball back up top, 70 on the shot clock, as they try to set up the offense and score their first goal in over 17 minutes of game time. Actually closer to 20 minutes of game time here in this match at SMU. They were held scoreless for the entire 15 minutes of quarter number 2.
Yeah, and that's not insurmountable. It's just the fact that they gave up 7 goals in the process during that time period.
Indeed, and now looking to get back on the board. A shot over the top of the goal by number 20 for the Tigers, Luke Auble. And brought back into play here on the near side. That's number 8, Ben Hensel. Oh no, sorry, that's 6. Tristan Goethe. Goethe working an X. 3 men in X for the Tigers. As now Sullivan tries to scoot the ball out, goal line extended on the near side. And forces the ball out of bounds off of the long stick of J.T. Pyle for the Longhorns. A nice play right there by Tristan Goethe to keep Missouri in possession. Goethe tries to go behind the head, and bounces it off the post and off the helmet of Ryan Glennon. Glennon able to help recover as now quickly downfield the Longhorns go back on offense. A no-look pass by Reno just off the cross of Hank Chapin. And I think perhaps here the Longhorns trying to get a little bit too fancy with a 7-goal lead.
Well, I think that's a pass that Reno made in the first half. I think that's something that he's worked on. Now that was back, from the backside up. Mm-hmm. This is from the front side to the back, but pass is still a pass. I think that that's something that they've worked on, some chemistry things that they've seen develop through workouts and games. I don't know that that's necessarily an attitude that you can see displayed, although what we've seen thus far has been not what we saw in the latter part of the second period.
And now a shot right there from Gregory, deflected away by Dylan Radke. And what we've noticed here, or what I've noticed, Jim, from about midway on from the second quarter to now is that instead of Radke making these saves in the heart of the big net, they're deflecting off the edges of the net and giving the Longhorns second chance opportunities.
Yeah, that, or he's not pulling him in clean and just resulting in an extended possession.
And now the Longhorns lose the ball out of bounds. No one back in X to secure possession except for the Tiger goaltender Dylan Radke, and he'll bring the ball forward as the clock moves under 11 minutes in our third period. Still Longhorns 10, Missouri Tigers 3 as we play lacrosse here in the third period of this second Division I semifinal.
Yeah, if you're coming out as a keeper and you're trying to pressure the defense to clear that midway hurdle, and you're out there quarterbacking it, you want these guys to be on the fly, be on the run, and field it cleanly. And Radke's out pressing the UT defense. He's just not getting that clean field.
And the shot there by Tristan Goto over the top of the goal as his cross was held up just briefly on defense by number 43 Ellis Tucci. Goto not allowed to follow through. The ball sails over the net. But the Tigers maintain possession now with Jeremiah Schumacher on the far side. They come all the way back to the near side on the counterclockwise rotation. Ripson looking to take a shot. Bounces one up and over the top of Ryan Glennon. And over to the far side goal line, extended to Bryce Sullivan. 7 on the shot clock for Missouri. The ride there by Ellis Tucci. And a last-second shot saved by Ryan Glennon. And excellent work there on that possession by the Longhorn defense.
Yeah, in both cases they had the shot they were looking for. They had a screen. They had one player, a UT player, on a screen, unable to convert on 2 of those shots.
And an unforced error by the Longhorns. They lose the ball out of bounds. And quickly Tristan Gote back on the job for Missouri. He'll be marked there and pushed away by number 20 Patrick Traynor. And now Gote will set up the offense with 9:10 remaining in the third quarter. The Tigers now down to 60 on the shot clock as Ripson working on the near side, being guarded by Ellis Tucci. And back up top with number 11 Luke Griffith. Missouri now starting to work their offense just a little bit. And that pass right there by Kyle Kurzek, just a little too tall for Bryce Sullivan. And the ball out of play. Possession changes to Texas Longhorns.
Yeah, and not kind of an ill-advised pass. I mean, not something you really want to set up. You want to look for something at the top of the crease and see if you can get the ball pushed in, not come across and high.
And now the Longhorns across the timeline, 64 on the shot clock, as Adam Weimer, the long stick midi on the offensive end. Gregory on the near side, a shot deflected by Radke, and once again Radke unable to secure that ball in the net. All he can do is deflect it across the field, and the ball back in the possession of the Longhorns. Not only that, but since it bounces off Radke, a fresh 80 on the shot clock.
Yeah, Holmes came out to press the ball and really just unable to get his body in front of it. The ball, shot got off. Radke, it resulted in extended play, extended possession.
And the wraparound attempt there by Gregory, no good. But back in X to secure possession, Christian Reno. Now he has the ball. Back up top to Gregory. As the 2 of those gentlemen will work with number 34, Seaver Sasso. They go back into X trying to wrap around again. And a bad pass there by the Longhorns. The ball out of bounds through the gate. And Missouri will control as the clock moves under 8 minutes remaining in our third period.
Yeah, Missouri's benefiting from the good defensive stand where they're pressuring. Really, UT couldn't get anything off their hands to get that shot loose because there was a body on it, and that's back to that style that we saw in the first period, which is hustling instead of chasing.
And Missouri will set up shop now. They're down to 60 on the shot clock as they have the right offensive unit on the field. Bryce Sullivan working on the far side, marked by Adam Weimer, and Tristan Gote hanging in X. They've been trying to feed the ball to Gote here. I think they've seen something they want to take advantage of here on the near side against Ryan Glennon, but they've just not been able to get a clean look to Tristan Gote for a shot. Now Gregory back on the offensive side, looking to pass. and dispossessed of his cross. A penalty call, a whistle on a foul. That will give Missouri possession as we move down to 7 minutes to play in period number 3.
Yeah, and they roll into the offensive zone. And, UT's playing a little bit soft until they get set up. They're really kind of letting them set up on the perimeter. But once the UT defense gets set up, they're pressuring the ball.
Joe Ripson with a shot there, deflected wide by Ryan Glennon. And now a scramble in the corner. It's picked up by Tristan Cody and the Tigers as they're down to 50 on the shot clock. And they desperately need to bite into this 7-goal disadvantage. The Longhorns still leading 10-3. And now a whistle, a crease violation. And that's just a mental mistake there on the far side by the Tigers' number 9, Max Mock. It gives the Longhorns possession. The Longhorns will set up shop here on the near side as they are shooting to the goal to your left as you watch here on your smartphone, tablet, or computing device here in Game On Sports Network. And folks, we thank you for joining us. And if you're watching us on the YouTube platform, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to all of our broadcasts presented to you here by Game On Sports. The low shot there by Seaver Sasso, saved by Ryan Radke. And for the first time in quite a while, Jim, Radke able to secure that in the webbing of the net rather than having the ball bounce off to the side and give the Longhorns another chance.
Yeah, Radke's solid. He just needs to step into the ball, be more confident like he was in the first half.
And another unforced error by Missouri in transition. Gives the ball back to Texas, working the next now, number 55, Thomas Minton. And Minton working on the far side with Christian Reno, goal line extended, as Reno will wait for reinforcements from the Texas offense.
Well, there's a lot of positioning for that ground ball, and Tucker George is like, well, if you don't want it, I'll take it. He just zipped in between two and picked it up, and UT rolls into the offensive zone right here.
And a shot from the near side by number 27 for the Longhorns goes wide. Deflected away by Ryan Radke. No one back in X for the Longhorns, and Missouri will have possession.
Yeah,
5 minutes remaining in the third.
Yeah, Radke, you can see on his body language, he's a little frustrated with himself that he's not getting these shots and these saves clean, resulting in these 50-50 ground balls or 50-50 loose balls that sometimes turn into an extended possession.
And Radke with the pass downfield, a nice interception there by the long stick midfielder Ellis Tucci, as Tucci takes the ball away, a turnover to Texas. And great work there, Tucci using his 6'1", 200-pound frame and that long stick to take the ball away from what should have been a drop in for Joe Ripson.
Right, and you could see you could see the work they put in practice and development during games as far as transition. They're that's what they're winning on right now is these transition, the transition side of the game, where they're controlling the ball as they move through that 40% of the midfield to get into the for the defensive side of the offensive.
And a shot by Luke Masiak going wide out of bounds, deflected, brought back into play by Christian Reno. His shot also wide. And now with less than 4 minutes to play in the third, the Longhorns still on offense. The shot clock down to 35 as they work the ball in X with number 55 and try to extend this 7-goal lead. We're 11 minutes here into the third quarter, Jim, and neither team has scored here in the third period. So you've got to give credit to Missouri as they were able to stop the bleeding from the second quarter.
Yeah, and the unfortunate side is they just gave up those 7 goals, and now they have to figure out how do we answer to that.
And now down to 7 on the shot clock for the Longhorns. Reno with a shot, and he scores! Dylan Radke blocked on the shot. Reno gets around his defender, goes to Radke's left side, and there's the first goal of quarter number 3 with 3:22 remaining in the period. It's now Longhorns 11, Missouri Tigers 3.
Yeah, Reno took advantage of that screen and just went in that little narrow hole off the pipes. Nothing you can do about that if you're standing in the crease.
And Christian DeAngelis back at the faceoff line with Marty Sheehan. And another clean scoop for DeAngelis. He'll try to score, gets it to Reno. They'll go back on the doorstep, deflected by Radke. And Dylan Radke there with another huge save for Missouri. The ball picked up near side, number 33, Wes Gilbert.
Yeah, Gilbert wisely feeling the double, finds the open man and dumps it down low, and then gives the Horns a chance to reset their offense.
And now Cade Kennedy will wait for help here with less than 3 minutes remaining in period number 3. As the Longhorns now enjoy their largest lead of the game at 8 goals. They lead 11-3 and have 50 seconds on the shot clock to extend that lead. Number 10, Cade Kennedy working up top with number 11, Luke Masiak. As Masiak works down on the far side. 40 seconds on the shot clock. As now it's back into X in possession of number 35. And the Longhorns here content to look for a good shot as the shot clock moves down toward 25. And that pass to no one in particular. It gets scooped back into the defensive end, but that's over and back, and the turnover to the Tigers with just over 2 minutes to play in our third period.
Yeah, Weimer's just trying to get closer to the midline, keep it in the offensive zone, just really unable to do that.
Joe Ripson on the near side. He'll take a shot. And low to high it goes, just over the right side of the net and high out of bounds. But Missouri will bring the ball back into play with 72 on the shot clock and exactly 2 minutes remaining in our third quarter. Ripson working in X with Tristan Goethe. Now Ripson will come out goal line extended on the near side, and they take the ball back up top with Schumacher. Jeremiah Schumacher starts the offense on the far side, working number 17, Brendan Brewster. The shot clock moving under 50 as we approach 90 seconds remaining in the third. And another nice defensive effort there by Adam Weimer to keep Ripson from coming all the way down on that shot. The ball goes out of bounds.
Yeah, I mean, he just got in low on him and lifted his hands up, pressured him up, and just that tomahawk shot, can be deadly if you get enough leverage on it, and Weimer obviously stopped that.
And now the Longhorns with the ball, 75 remaining in the period, 65 on the shot clock. So the Longhorns can use this opportunity to take most of the third period off the clock and perhaps get a shot away with less than 15 seconds remaining and see if they can extend the lead beyond their current advantage of 11-3 here in the third period. They stay up top with Jack Egan as some of the first team offense now back on the field for this last possession of period number 3 for the Longhorns. Egan's brother Max now out there, number 19 and number 41. Brothers working here together with 35 remaining in the third. 24 on the shot clock as Max Egan offloads to Christian Reno. Goal line extended on the near side. He's marked by his counterpart, number 8, Ben Hensel. Reno takes the ball into X with 20 ticks remaining, 10 on the shot clock. Reno wants to angle for a shot. He's down to 7. Looking for a shot. He'll wrap around. And the shot clock expires. But really not a bad possession for the Longhorns as they took so much time off the clock. And now Missouri only has 5 seconds. The interception by Texas. And the horn will sound, ending our third period of play. Ladies and gentlemen, 3 periods are in the books here this evening at Crum Lacrosse and Sports Center on the campus of SMU. As Game On Sports brings you live exclusive coverage of the 2023 Lone Star Alliance Championships. And folks, your score as we head to the fourth quarter in the second of our 2 Division I semifinals here tonight at SMU. It's Texas Longhorns 11, Missouri Tigers 3, and 15 minutes left to play, Jim. And Missouri needs goals, and they need them in a hurry. What do they need to do to get back on the right track here in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, I mean, you just have to overcome that second period. They've done a great job coming back. I mean, they've held UT down. They just need to start popping this thing in and do it really quickly. I don't know if there's a good answer for that. You got to win off the face-off X. You got to pressure on defense. You got to get turnovers when you can, and you have to really control the transition game. And they've done better with that, but still they're not winning it. They need goals and in a hurry.
And we'll see if Missouri can accomplish the task. 11-3 Longhorns will be back with the fourth quarter of this semifinal. Stay with us here on Game On Sports Network.
It's the same experience. Everything's the same. They make it too easy to even think about going anywhere else.
Discover our wide variety of pre-owned vehicles at Sewell.com today.
You've never been one to fear the unknown. That's because you've seen seasons like this come and go, just like many of your competitors. You know your outcome, stay focused, and take calculated risks, seizing opportunities when others freeze. The truth is, winter business cycles separate the good from the great, and winter is your season. Ours too. That's why for over a century, we've been honored to serve you. Vista Bank, entrepreneurs banking entrepreneurs since 1912.
And folks, we welcome you back here to Crum Lacrosse and Sports Center on the campus of Southern Methodist University alongside Jim Dixon. This is Brian Shackelford bringing you the opening minutes of the fourth quarter of the Lone Star Alliance Division I semifinal. This is the second of two semifinals this afternoon here at SMU. And the Texas Longhorns lead the Missouri Tigers 11-3 as the Longhorns score the goal right there. And once again, Dylan Radke unable to secure that ball in the net. And that's going to be a goal for number 42, JT Pyle, the long stick midi for the Longhorns. It's now 12-3 Longhorns as the Longhorns look to secure their spot in tomorrow's championship game against SMU.
Yeah, Radke, I mean, he stopped down low, basically just, he got it stopped at his feet. Momentum kept the ball rolling in, and you got to field it cleanly, and he's not really been doing that here in the second half.
Yeah, Radke stops about 90% of that shot, but it had just enough momentum to crawl across the line and allow JT Pyle to put his name in the scorebook this evening. And another face-off win for Christian DeAngelis. And DeAngelis has just owned the face-off dot here in this match this evening at SMU.
Yeah, I mean, the tide turned a little bit in the first start of the second half, but, DeAngelis adjusted to those changes and has been dominant since.
Now the Longhorns working the counterclockwise rotation as they have 40 of 4 on the shot clock and just over a minute gone in the fourth quarter. And the Longhorns, as proficient as they have been on offense here this evening at SMU, it is the defense that is really telling the story, the unsung hero of this game, as the Longhorns have held Missouri scoreless now for over 35 minutes of game time in this contest. The last Missouri goal coming with just under 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter. And we're playing lacrosse here with 13:25 remaining in the fourth.
Yeah, good stop by Radke. Nice dissemination, getting it downfield, just quarterbacking it, dropping it over his wing's head. Hensel just ran underneath it, gets it down in the offensive zone, draws a check.
And what a shot right there behind the back as Missouri, playing the advantage. Luke Auble will put his second tally on the board. And Missouri scoring with 12:58 remaining here in the fourth period of this match. It's now Texas Longhorns 12, Missouri Tigers 4. And as I had stated earlier, this is the first Missouri goal in almost 36 minutes of game time here this evening at SMU.
Yeah, and I mean, the penalties waved off. They got the goal. They need to just keep pressing, keep the foot down on the accelerator, and keep this thing rolling, and see if, more of this, more winning faceoffs, more of going down on the goal fast and working quickly.
And that faceoff in the possession number 9, Max Mock for the Tigers, as he'll offload to Tristan Godey, and the Tigers go back on the job. DeAngelis won the faceoff clean, tried to pass to JT Pyle, but Pyle and DeAngelis unable to communicate on the pass. And Missouri picks up the ball. They have 55 on the shot clock as they look to bite further into this lead as they trail 12-4 with 12:20 to play. Jeremiah Schumacher takes a shot and a goal for Missouri. And that's the momentum that Missouri is looking to find here. They've scored the last 2 goals in this match. It's now 12-5 Tigers, and this could be the start of something for Missouri with 12:16 to play.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta like the fact that Missouri's fighting back. You know, they just have a lot to cut, a lot of ground to cover.
And sorry about that, folks, as we were accosted by a fan in the stands. We'll get security on that here in just a second. We do apologize for that, folks, as we return to play here now. 12-5 remaining, or 12-5 your score in favor of the Longhorns with 12 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. And just for those of you keeping score at home, your goalkeepers here this evening for the Longhorns, number 21 Ryan Glennon and number 1 Dylan Radke for Missouri.
Radke's solid on that stop, and just quarterbacking that thing downfield. They're playing very aggressive, and they have nothing to lose.
Missouri now moving into more of a desperation mode as the clock is becoming their enemy, but they have been very sharp here with the last 2 goals in this match. The Longhorns now with possession. A penalty flag comes in, and it looks like the Longhorns will be allowed to play the advantage. Moving into the offensive end, that's Jack Egan. And the Longhorns will try to set up shop here. A shot and a goal by Parker Ailes. Ailes has been working around the goal all afternoon long, and he puts a low wrister right past the ankle of Dylan Radke and reestablishes an 8-goal lead for Texas.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that you can ill afford is to let UT play loose, and they've recaptured that feeling, and they are on top of things, and you know, that shot that was set up it comes from that fast pace with a lot of pass, a lot of movement, and obviously benefit.
Folks, your score now with 11:15 remaining here in the 4th quarter at Crum Lacrosse and Sports Field. It's now Texas Longhorns 13, Missouri Tigers 5. As the Longhorns have been able to answer, and they stop the 2-goal streak by Missouri as Christian DeAngelis returns to the faceoff circle, this time working against number 8 Ben Hensel. And it looked like Hensel won the faceoff, but nobody there behind Hensel to secure the possession for Missouri, and Texas now has control with 11 minutes to play.
Yeah, UT's kind of slowed down. They really have nothing pressing them.
And another goal for the Longhorns as they put another tally on the board and extend the lead. It's their first 9-goal lead of the match.
Yeah, so much for slow play.
And with 10:50 remaining here in the 4th quarter, it's now Texas Longhorns 14, Missouri Tigers 5.
Yeah, Kay Kennedy ripped that thing and just got settled in up top. You know, the Horns obviously have everything going their way right now.
Kennedy now putting his name in the book with 10:47 to play. The ball up in the air. A penalty flag comes in. This will be against the Longhorns as TJ Soriano will control. And with the ball going out of bounds and the whistle, will get the penalty flag call.
Yeah, Soriano's you know, kind of leaking down a lane, just really waiting for his time to tee off, and just went a little low on it. The leverage from that shot just put it over the top of the crossbar.
And the penalty will result in a man-up advantage for Missouri with 10:36 remaining, as the Longhorns have a player sitting in the penalty box, one of the long stick midfielders. And quickly a shot on goal there deflected wide by Ryan Glennon. And the turnover to the Longhorns. They'll play shorthanded with a fresh 80 on the shot clock, looking to rag out this penalty and keep the 9-goal lead intact for the Longhorns. Coming down the near side, that's number 1 Adam Weimer. And Weimer's pass just off the mark. Scramble for the ground ball. It's picked up by Bryce Sullivan. Sullivan looking to shoot. Save Ryan Glennon. And Sullivan had the right idea. He was trying to go across the face of Glennon to the post on the far side, but Glennon equal to the challenge.
Just right off Glennon's grill.
And a nice save there by Ryan Glennon with just over 10 minutes remaining. And it looks like we have timeout on the field. 10:05 remains here in quarter number 4 of the second Division I semifinal here in the Lone Star Alliance. And your score here as we have timeout on the field: Texas Longhorns 14, Missouri Tigers 5. This is a timeout by Missouri as they still have a little bit of time left on this man-up advantage. And I think they're trying to set up a play here with just what few seconds they have remaining in this penalty.
Yeah, I mean, every possession is extremely valuable to Missouri at this point. And they got to get in there and scrap for every ground ball. They got to create opportunities, but they certainly can't give up one with the possession.
And now, if we get into the mind here of Coach Kyle Hartzell and the Longhorns, they're up by 9. They have 10 minutes to play. The defensive staff here for Texas, what are they telling these defensive players? I mean, you would think here it's just stay calm, stay in your lanes, block the lanes, try to keep Missouri off the scoreboard, or at least make them really, really work to score a goal. Kind of like what we had in the previous game between Texas A&M and SMU. Now with 10 minutes to play and a 9-goal lead, it's going to be a successful possession for the Longhorn defense if they can make Missouri work into the second half of that shot clock.
Well, and I don't think they need to be passive on defense at all. I think if they suck in, play zone, that's not really going to be successful. I think they need to pressure the ball because it's been successful. They've been able to turn over, force Missouri to make errors by pressuring the ball, and I don't think you get away from that. Now maybe you soften it up, but I don't think you get away from that at all.
And now following the timeout by Missouri, Bryce Sullivan will bring the ball back into play from X as we resume play with just over 10 minutes in the fourth quarter. And Missouri trailing, and they trail by one less now as it's now 14-6. And it only took them 7 seconds coming out of that timeout to put the ball in the net and make it 14-6 in favor of Texas.
Yeah, and that just shows that shows that possession urgency. When they came out of the timeout, they knew what they had to do. They had it set up. They had the man up. They took advantage of it. They didn't leave a lot of time on the clock.
So with 9:59 remaining in our fourth quarter, it's Texas Longhorns 14, Missouri Tigers 6. And DeAngelis moving the ball away, still a loose ground ball off the faceoff, and controlling for the Longhorns, number 33, Wes Gilbert. And Gilbert now will put the Longhorns back on the job with 75 on the shot clock. And you would think the Longhorns want to take some time off the clock here, but they also probably want to put another goal or two on the board as the lead now down to 8 with 9.5 remaining.
Yeah, I think I don't think they need to back off really on the offense. I think they need to set up what they feel like is going to be the most successful way, and then be very selective about your shots.
And working on goal line extended on the far side, the Longhorns bring the ball back up top, down to 40 on the shot clock. And the pass intercepted there. A nice play by the Tigers, number 33, Tyler Pasco. And Tyler Pasco gives Missouri possession as the clock moves under 9 minutes remaining in our fourth quarter. The Texas defense equal to the challenge as they wait for Missouri to get players on the field, and now Bryce Sullivan will go to work for Missouri. The ball back up top now with Luke Fiala as Missouri really not moving with much alacrity here. They need 8 goals, and they've only got 8.5 minutes remaining.
Yeah, they're just kind of pressing out on the perimeter to see what will open up, and UT's really not showing their hand. They're not really giving them anything to move off of.
A shot low and a goal for Missouri as Luke Griffith scores for the Tigers with 8:19 remaining. And the Texas faithful starting to shake their heads a little bit as it's now Longhorns 14, Tigers 7. And what was a 9-goal deficit is down to 7 with just over 8 minutes remaining. And you've said it many times, Jim Dixon, no lead is safe in lacrosse. And it's time for the Longhorns if they want to keep this lead to put their foot back on the gas with just over 8 minutes remaining.
Yeah, they got to go back to what's working for them, which is winning off the faceoff, going down, taking quality shots, not turning the ball over, and then right on cue, Missouri ball coming back this way.
And now it's the Longhorns with too many unforced errors, giving Missouri opportunities, as Ben Hensel in the faceoff circle now has been winning faceoffs against Christian DeAngelis. And that has been the difference here in the last 4 or 5 minutes, which has allowed Missouri to score 4 of the last 5 goals in this match. And now we have a blocking penalty against Missouri that will give Texas the ball back with just under 8 minutes remaining. The Longhorns go right across the mouth of the goal. The pass off its mark. And picked up there. This is the first time we've called Chase McQuarrie's name in the second half, as he was a dominant force defensively for Missouri in the first 30 minutes. Now making his presence felt here in the fourth quarter with 7.5 remaining. We're halfway through quarter number 4.
Yeah, and a very orchestrated clear. Radke goes back in behind the goal, pushes the ball up, and just starts quarterbacking it. It just drops a dime to a running exposed wing, and then just like that, the Tigers are back in business here on the offensive zone.
The shot clock down to 50 as Bryce Sullivan looking in X. They'll come back up top. A shot just off the outside of the net, as the Missouri faithful got excited, but as our compatriot would say, a mom goal off the side of the net. And with 40 remaining on the shot clock, 7 minutes to play in the match here at Crum Lacrosse and Sports Center, it remains 14-7 in favor of the Longhorns.
Yeah, well, and the good thing is that the Tigers retain possession and they can set this thing back up. They obviously find something that they like on that top side wing.
And the shot going wide off the cross of number 17, Brendan Brewster. But Bryce Sullivan in X will bring the ball back into play, as Missouri down to 23 on the shot clock in this possession. Adam Weimer working on Bryce Sullivan. He'll get a pick. Now they'll pass inside to the player who set the pick, Nick Sutherland. And unable to communicate on the pass, the ball scooped up by Ryan Glennon. And Ryan Glennon's outlet pass dropped there by number 32, Bake Dickey. And Sullivan right there to scoop up the rebound. And Bryce Sullivan has been putting in hard work here on the offensive end in quarter number 4, Jim, keeping them in this game at 14-7.
Yeah, he's down there working hard, and he gets benefit right there. Took a shot in the ribs to finish it out.
And Sullivan scoring with 6:11 remaining. The hat trick for Bryce Sullivan. But he has paid a dear price as he is down on the turf injured.
Yeah, he took a shot, just followed through, came down on either a stick or a player. I don't even know. He's running into a crowd. I don't even know who got a hand on him, but he got one, just kind of between his ribs and his pelvis, and that's a tough spot.
And Sullivan back on his feet, as he has done heroic work here for the Tigers in this fourth quarter. Puts his 3rd goal on the board, and it's now only a 6-goal lead for Texas, although the Missouri Tigers will be without the services of Bryce Sullivan for the next few minutes. And we'll see if he catches his wind and can get back into this match quickly, as the score is now 6:11 remaining in the fourth quarter here at SMU. And following that goal by Bryce Sullivan, Missouri Tigers now trail 14-8 against the Longhorns, and they've outscored the Longhorns in this fourth quarter by a score of 5-3. So Missouri definitely picking up the momentum here in quarter number 4.
Yeah, Missouri's benefited by having Hensel on the faceoff. I think the fact that if you're going to get down there and start mucking around, you want a defensive midfielder down in there kind of closing things out for you.
And the faceoff win once again for the Tigers, as that has been the difference here in the fourth quarter. Missouri winning the majority of the faceoffs, and they're back on the job with 5:43 remaining in the contest, down to 50 on the shot clock. as they work on the far side with number 44, Joe Ripson.
The passes just aren't really crisp. They're having to pick them up off the turf.
And Ripson takes a shot. It just goes off the back of the goal. Glennon unable to make the save. Luckily, the shot wide for the Longhorns. 35 on the shot clock as Bryce Sullivan quickly, or no, that's number 40 rather. That's Jack Salerno inside the crease. A crease violation will give the Longhorns possession. 80 on the shot clock, 5:20 to play in the game.
Yeah, Salerno just unable to clear the crease to get his hips around, get his shot, and they were kind of draped on him, and they forced him back into the crease.
And now the Longhorns will look to take some time off the clock here before scoring as we hit 5 minutes remaining in our fourth quarter. 60 on the shot clock for the Longhorns as they still enjoy a 6-goal advantage, leading 14-8. But Missouri coming back strong here in the fourth quarter as they will not go quietly into this Saturday night, and they will make the Longhorns earn the trip to tomorrow afternoon's championship game. Working here on the near side, some nice footwork there by Jack Egan, and he'll go back up top with 30 on the shot clock for the Longhorns.
Yeah, it looks like the UT Longhorns are kind of in that mode of let's stall things out, kind of take the shots that we have to take, and then other than that, just keep the ball.
And now the shot clock reset. A shot just wide. Radke able to deflect that.
Yeah, again, good position stop. He got in, cuddled up on that inside pipe, forced him outside, and the shot is out of their hands. Now UT has to reset.
Well, they do get 80 on the shot clock once again as the ball made contact with Dylan Radke. As that shot by Teddy Lisa deflected wide, and now we have a penalty call, and it looks to be a man-up advantage for the Longhorns as Missouri puts a long stick midfielder in the penalty box. This is a man-up advantage for Texas with 4:08 to play and 80 on the shot clock.
Yeah, I mean, UT's just trying to retain possession, keep this thing as live as they can, and force Missouri's hand.
And the ball coming to the center line. Scooped up by number 40, Jack Salerno. And now Missouri playing shorthanded. And if they score a shorthanded goal here, it closes it down to a 5-goal advantage. That would be very useful for Missouri here with 3:40 to play in the fourth.
Yeah, and I mean, they're still short on the offensive zone, which I mean in the situation is probably pretty good because you really don't want to be giving up anything on the defensive side.
And working on the far side, number 11, Luke Griffith, his shot going over the top of goal. And this will give the ball back to the Longhorns as they still have a few seconds remaining on the man advantage. And Ryan Glennon with the ball in the big net. He'll move it forward with 3:12 remaining in the fourth. And the penalty expiring now. Missouri back at full strength with 3:05 to play, but the Longhorns in possession. And now Texas will take timeout with 3:03 remaining in the contest. They have a 14-8 lead. And taking timeout here, it's their first timeout of the second half. Jim, go inside the mind here of Kyle Hartzell, the Longhorn coach, and what is he putting? Is he putting together an offensive play here, or is this more of just an all-around strategy for the final 3 minutes of this match?
He's really trying to just enforce what they're trying to do and get into their heads is to let's eat up the clock, let's retain possession, don't have unforced errors, take care of the ball, and then force Missouri to have to play catch up with less clock. Although they're eating away at that lead, and what was a 9-goal lead is now down to 6. So that's obviously a tough hill to climb for Missouri, but you still don't want to give them everything.
No, and indeed here, I mean, the Longhorns will come back into play with 3:03 remaining in the contest. They have 64 on the shot clock. So, not that I think Coach Hartzell would want to play it this way, but even if you just want to take that entire 64 seconds off the clock, then you're giving the ball back to Missouri with 1:59 to play and the need to score 6 goals. So it wouldn't be a terrible outcome for the Longhorns, but you'd think what they would prefer is to take about 40 seconds off the clock and then make it 15-8 instead of just ragging out the clock and turning it over.
Yeah, I mean, and it comes down to taking quality shots in a timely manner, and that's really what he's trying to reinforce, get everybody on the same page.
And now the Longhorns with the ball back in play. The clock moves under 3 minutes remaining in the contest. The shot clock under 60 as working on the near side and crossing over Jack Egan. Egan being marked by the Tigers, number 32, Christian Simmons. And it appears the Longhorns are at least content for the time being to play keep away as Egan working closer and closer to the midline. Being still marked there. Now the switch off, Tyler Pasco marking him. And Egan just playing keep away here with 2.5 to play.
Yeah, I mean, you're really putting the pressure on Missouri every click of the clock.
Christian Reno with a shot and a save by Dylan Radke. They try to scoop the ball back into play, and they call over and back. And with 2:12 remaining in the contest, it will be Missouri Tiger ball. They'll move quickly across the line and try to set things up. Bryce Sullivan on the near side as Adam Weimer will guard him. And Weimer trying to keep Sullivan away from the goal as we move under 2 minutes remaining in the match here at Crum Lacrosse and Sports Field at SMU. Working in X, that's Tyler, number 6, Tristan Goethe. And now a whistle and a foul committed by Missouri. That's the last thing they could afford as the Longhorns now have the ball with just over 100 seconds remaining.
Yeah, you had a lane violation with defensive pressure, forcing the Missouri player into the crease. Just flip the field and go back to the same thing we had going, which was basically playing catch up.
And now an unforced error by the Longhorns as Gregory gives the ball away, to pass way downfield by Dylan Radke out of bounds.
Yeah, Radke, a very aggressive play, hats off, but you got to be on point. You got to hit these guys. They had the UT in transition beat. I don't know that he could have got the ship righted, gotten back to a shooting zone, but certainly great idea.
And now the Longhorns back in possession. They'll cross the timeline. 70 seconds remaining in the match. And 67 on the game clock, so they can take this almost down to 0. Only a 3-second difference. And what a shot right there by Christian Reno. It looked like he was just going to curve back away from the goal and just flicks it with his wrist. Radke not expecting that. And it's now 15-8 Longhorns with just over a minute to play.
Yeah, I think that was pretty much the setup. I mean, if you can get a shot, get a good quality shot, take it. If not, bleed the clock and work great both ways.
And now the shot clock no longer a factor with 63 seconds remaining in the contest. And the Longhorns out to a 15-8 lead over the Missouri Tigers in this Division I semifinal. DeAngelis wins the faceoff. And now all the Longhorns need to do is take the final 55 seconds off this clock, and they will punch their ticket to the championship game tomorrow against the SMU Mustangs. Christian Reno is running away from double coverage. He'll go across, and a shot and a goal for Texas. And coming into the match, a wide open Cade Kennedy. Nobody from Missouri covering him as Reno had 3 men on him. And Kennedy puts his second goal in the net with 39 seconds to play.
Yeah, Missouri kind of got caught in the middle. They're having to force the error. They're having to force the turnover, and they're putting bodies on it, and just a situation where you're going to put 3 guys on me. Fine, I'll find the open man.
Now DeAngelis back in the faceoff circle against number 9 this time, Max Mock, and he'll win again. A heavy mark there on DeAngelis as he'll look to take the ball across the field. And there's number 15, McQuarrie again. The Longhorns keep the ball in the offensive zone. A great play right there by Connor Benzik to keep the ball on the offensive side of the timeline with 13 seconds to play.
Yeah, and Missouri's playing with absolute desperation at this point. They're putting pressure all over the ball.
And a heave downfield by the Tigers as the horn sounds, ending tonight's game. Ladies and gentlemen, the final horn is sounded here at Crum Lacrosse and Sports Field on the campus of Southern Methodist University, as Game On Sports brings you live coverage here tonight of this Lone Star Alliance Division I semifinal. And folks, your final score here tonight on the campus of SMU: Texas Longhorns 18, Missouri Tigers 8. And Jim, the difference in this game was the play of the Longhorns in the second and third quarters, as they outscore Missouri 8-0 and win the game tonight by an 8-goal margin.
Yeah, I mean, they put the wood to them there in the second, and Missouri just really didn't have an answer for them. And that, like you said, that paid the difference. And other than that, we'd be talking about a tie ball game.
Right, and it was indeed a tie ball game in the fourth quarter, as those 2 goals late in the quarter by Texas makes it 5-5 in the fourth. So we finish the match with the exact same deficit that we had at the end of the third quarter, a deficit of 8 goals, as now we can look forward to tomorrow night's Division I championship, or tomorrow afternoon rather, the championship game in Division I between these Texas Longhorns and a very strong SMU Mustang club that dismantled Texas A&M earlier this afternoon.
Right, and you also have UT that, SMU went down to Austin early in the season, as UT was really kind of beginning their season, and really kind of shocked them, to be honest with you. I mean, there was a lot of surprised faces on the losing end from the Longhorns, and they're gonna, I don't know if they look for exacting payoff, but they certainly have that marked, and when this thing popped up on the calendar the way it did, they may be possibly rubbing their hands together.
Oh, indeed, and the Longhorns probably looking for a little bit of revenge tomorrow afternoon, but they will have to beat more than just the SMU team on the field, as we are here on Southern Methodist home turf, and I'm sure the 11th man, the big crowd for SMU, will be in full force tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. for that Division I championship.
Yeah, I mean, I fully expect that. Also, UT always shows up pretty big as far as fan base, and there's quite a few people out here tonight, and so I think we're gonna hear a full on rush as far as these two squads getting together, but I look forward to a great game among others.
Oh yeah, this will definitely be a championship game everyone will want to see. So folks, mark your calendar now for tomorrow afternoon, a 3 p.m. face-off here at Crum Lacrosse and Sports Center, as the SMU Mustangs will face off against the Texas Longhorns in the Lone Star Alliance Division I championship game. And as we review the scoring here tonight for Texas, they have 11 different goal scorers in the match, led by number 8 Christian Reno with 4 goals. He's the only player with the hat trick on the night. 2 goals by Sawyer Sasso, 2 goals by Cade Kennedy, and solo goals for the other 8 goal scorers here this evening. So a well distributed offense for the Longhorns this evening against Missouri, as they win tonight's game by a score of 16-8.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see the same thing out of SMU tomorrow as well. I mean, they like the Longhorns, push the ball around to a lot of different players, get a lot of different players involved, play team ball, and I think the Lone Star Alliance should be proud of this matchup and looking forward to the outcome.
And the goal scorers for Missouri tonight, they had 5 different goal scorers, led by number 10, Sullivan, as Bryce Sullivan puts a hat trick on the board, the 5'10", 160-pound freshman from the St. Louis area, as he had a valiant effort both on the offensive and defensive ends here. He was just causing havoc for the Longhorns all over the field, and it was really the effort of Bryce Sullivan early in that fourth quarter that started to bring Missouri back into this game before Texas slammed the door shut in the final 2 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, both squads played tremendous in spurts. UT stepped up and definitely created that space in the second quarter. But neither team has, neither team has anything to be upset about, and obviously UT has something to look forward to. But Missouri has had a great season to kind of look back on, and I know they don't like the outcome right now, but they need to look at what they got going down the road, what they accomplished.
Well, they'll be bringing back a majority of their team. This is a sophomore-laden team for Missouri State. A lot of underclassmen, sophomores and juniors on this squad, so we can just expect to see big things once again in 2024 from this Missouri Tiger squad as they close out the 2023 campaign with a 10-4 record.
Yeah.
And folks, this will set the table for an exciting championship Sunday tomorrow on Game On Sports Network. Folks, we'll be getting started early. A 9 a.m. opening face-off on Championship Saturday for the Lone Star Alliance Division III championship matchup between the Sam Houston State Bearcats and the Kansas State Wildcats. We'll follow that up at high noon with the Division II championship between the Baylor Bears and the Missouri State Bears. And then the nightcap for you from Crum Lacrosse and Sports Field here at SMU at 3 p.m. The matchup that we've just been hyping for you, a return engagement between the SMU Mustangs and the Texas Longhorns to lift the Division I trophy for the 2023 season. And Jim, as we close out here tonight at Crum Lacrosse and Sports Center, your final thoughts here on tonight's match between the Longhorns and the Tigers.
Oh, it's outstanding match. I mean, it was physical play, and glad to see UT, kind of get to move forward and face SMU, and looking forward to what is going to proceed on down the road in Round Rock in the next weekend.
Indeed, folks, and once again, another reminder, hit that like button and subscribe to Game On Sports, and be sure to set your calendar, set your alarm to join us tomorrow morning. We'll be on air at about 8:55 a.m. for 3 championship games tomorrow here in the Lone Star Alliance Championships on Game On Sports Network. And folks, as we close out tonight, we want to thank everybody who was responsible for bringing you the sights and sounds of this broadcast here today, all 4 games here at SMU. The executive producer of Game On Sports is Fred Garner. Today's match was produced and directed by David Horn and Tyler Rodriguez. Game On Sports technical producer is Trevor Von Dom. And the sights and sounds of today's broadcast were brought to you by our outstanding camera crew, Gabe Scott, Chris Reniger, Vonnie, and Garrett Hayes. Also a special thanks to our administrators back at the home office, Lisa Carrillo and Sarah Beasley. And folks, today's Lone Star Alliance Division I semifinal broadcast is a copyrighted production of Game On Sports Network and the Lone Star Alliance. Copyright 2023, all rights reserved. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or other use of the pictures and accounts of this broadcast without the express consent of Game On Sports Network and the Lone Star Alliance is strictly prohibited. Well, folks, that wraps up our 4-game slate here today from Southern Methodist University. We want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for spending some of your Saturday with us. And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow for Championship Sunday right here on Game On Sports Network. So until then, on behalf of my broadcast partner, Jim Dixon, and our entire Game On Sports production crew, this is Brian Shackelford, thanking you for joining us this evening and for your continued support of Lone Star Alliance Lacrosse. Your final score in tonight's semifinal, Texas Longhorns 16, Missouri Tigers 8. Until tomorrow morning, good night and God bless from Dallas, Texas.